Hello, bonjour, ça va? And how are we today? It is Sunday, June the 7th, 2026, here in downtown Sarnia on the shores of the St. Clair River. Train has just gone by. You might have heard that. I think that's the end of it. Yes. They seem to like to run it Sunday evenings for some reason. Um, it is what it is, right? Yeah, that's what happens when you live in a downtown city. I just saw the ad again on YouTube. So I'd found a different movie to watch this evening, and I saw the ad came on. I think it's a little different though. And I just had to stop the movie and come in here and tell you about this because I said I would if I saw it again. So the ad was starting, and I'm thinking, I think this is it. So I was focusing on it, the picture, everything falling apart, the desks, it's like, when you have an earthquake and it kind of rolls, right? So it's like the furniture starts rolling and then falls into this hole, and then the walls fall down, the doors, like everything just all crumbles to the ground, right? And pile of dust and concrete and everything. And at the end of it, because that's what I said I would look for, I've forgotten the name again. Because at the very end, last time, there were these big black letters that said banking is done or banking is gone. Remember one of the two? I couldn't remember what that third word was. But I mean, the letters were huge and they were black. I remember that. This time, the letters were smaller and it said banking is over and they were white. I don't know. Timeline jump or my memory ain't what I thought it was. I don't know. Anyway, I did look at that little blurb across the bottom and it looked different. So I don't know if this is a different, you know, company, being, entity, whatever. But it says wealth something, maybe wealth banking or whatever. I don't know. But I looked at the part where it says sponsored by, in these little minuscule letters that they don't really, want you to notice. But my eye went right to that rather than that wealth, whatever it was that they want you to like click on or to access it somehow, some way. But in teensy weensy little letters at the bottom, it said sponsored by End of Banking. Okay, I do not remember that from last time. The colors were different. I'm very color oriented. Okay, to me, everything is color. If somebody says, what kind of car do they drive? I'll say, well, it's white. It's boxy, it's square. I can give the shapes. No, it's got like a rounded back to it, or it's streamlined. That's the extent of how I describe things. So color and the shape, and that's about it. So again, I don't know if these are two different um, entities doing this, or I don't know. It's all part of the same thing. Um, if I see it a third time, I will really take note. Okay. But again, it caught me by surprise. I was not thinking that I would see it so quickly. Right. So there you go. Just wanted to let you know. I have been researching more of this. The infighting that's been going on in the countries, the ideologies that are clashing with one culture and way of thinking and religion and teachings compared to another. Again, I've been hearing this today and yesterday to go back and talk about the concept of division and separation versus unity, and I'm hearing blessings, because division and separation keeps you apart, right? I mean, that's common sense. It separates you, it divides you, it pits you one against the other so that you're constantly in fight. Central nervous system, fight and flight, fight or flight. That's how they do it. Okay, that's how your controllers operate the little strings, the puppeteer strings, to make you do what they want you to do. Feminine, divine feminine, we are already activated. We come in already wired, genetically in the brain, the whole bit, to be intuitive. And we are, unless you've shut it down by choice. Our dear masculines, they don't really, they don't put too much emphasis on that. Let's put it nicely, shall we say. As a result, we kind of look like we're dangerous in a way. Like, how did she know that? Or how did she do that? So there's a little bit of, I haven't thought about this for a very long time, but there was a gentleman whom I was just kind of starting to date. I think we had one date. Usually one date's enough, and I'm done. But 3 at the most, definitely done. But it was within the first date, and he was very inquisitive about me and what did I do and what is this energy healing stuff, and I mean, how to explain that? You can't, so you kind of have to experience that. And so he was saying, well, so you can read people, you know things about people. And he sat back, and he was very intelligent, very highly educated, professional man, well-to-do. And he really mulled that over for a while. And then he finally said, well, I can't really have any secrets then. And I said, no, I'm not really comfortable with that. I went, okay, that tells me everything I need to know about you. And his behavior out in public with other people kind of showed me that, this is not the right one for me. So we parted ways because he wasn't comfortable. In other words, he wasn't an honest enough man because he wanted to hide certain things that he knew he was going to end up doing that, of course, I would not appreciate. So, found out early enough, didn't waste any more time on that. And that's what I have found. And then there have been other men whom I've met all in different jobs, shall we say. And the ones who are in certain types of jobs, the main focus was, well, how can I outwit her? How can I out whatever? And then it was, oh, well, I know what to do now. I can do this. And then, that will fool her. And so I can gain momentum and control and domination like how I like it to be. And of course, that doesn't work either. So I have learned firsthand, just as 3D me, let's say, about this trepidation with the divine feminine who is in full force of herself. So she rules herself. She has her connections made. She has continuous conversation 24/7 with higher selves, angelic realms, etc., etc. Everybody, everything, multidimensionally. When a person has all those gateways and doorways and portals opened in their brain, there is nothing that you can do to control or dominate that person, whether it's a man or a woman. There's nothing. So hence the trap. Well, let's keep control so that we can have a slave race for us on this planet. There are many levels to this. We've talked about numerous ones, but part of the action, excuse me, this is throat chakra activation coming in here. Some of this, because we haven't spoken about this directly, some of this actionable action from the masculine to the feminine is to keep them under control, because there's suspicion there. Oh, what if she figures out what's going on? Can't have that now, can we? Because then she could educate others, and it would just be a snowball effect. So this is what I'm hearing right now to say, and I don't think we've gone this far in the analogy of it. I am going to have to take a drink of water on this one. Excuse me for a moment. It's my water flask. I keep just in case for moments like this. But if you have part of the society or the race that you're trying to control, if you have beings like the feminine who can read what you're doing, understand what you're doing, you're not going to be able to pull it off very well, are you? Well, we'll have to control them instead. Let's do that. Let's do that. It's very draconian, as we talked about years and years ago. Okay. We did even mention about how in certain reptilian cultures that there's a queen, and it's matriarchal. It's not patriarchal. So what better way to do things here is to switch it up and have it patriarchal. Now, in the higher realms, interdimensional areas and streams of thought, masculine and feminine are equal. There's no one subjugating the other. It takes two to tango. There's an equality, electron, proton, neutron. There's equality. And if one is overshadowing or overruling the other, there is a disproportionate amount of animosity there, or guilt and betrayal, and it's a mess. So if you see anybody instigating hate, animosity, cruelty, power over, control, dominance, manipulation, ask yourself, for what purpose? For what purpose? What's to be gained? Follow the power structure. It's not just follow the money. Follow the power structure, the thought over structure. Who instigated it? Who's controlling it? Who's operating it? Divine Feminine can tune in and read it. There's no hiding. Remember, we've talked about this for years as well. There's no such thing. First thing I was told. There's no such thing as privacy, Cynthia, only boundaries. That's been a hard one for me, creating boundaries where I had very few. Now I've got a good amount. I've learned. Spirit has taught me. I have seen and lived through and experienced various patterns of very negative, low-level, toxic thought. And I can see it a mile away now. And I'm running in the opposite direction if I see that. Have your experience of bye-bye. Been there, done that. So once you uncover the subconscious issues, the programming, the brainwashing, you're distilling all of that nonsense away from you because it's not you. None of your programming is you. Those of us who are human, because there are lots of, other beings walking around in these, what some people call them skin suits. People have funny names for things, don't they? But those who are human, walking around in a human form, we're powerful light beings. We've talked about this. This is just a recap of everything we've talked about over the last 20 years. It's very relevant. I'm hearing it's relevant now. It's very relevant now because we're actually going through it and we're seeing it. Third eyes wide open now. If you're choosing the higher light way, nothing can be hidden from you. You feel it coming. It's like the birds or the animals when there's a fire, right? How many times have we seen this? There's a forest fire that's devastating. It covers vast quantities of land, acreage. The animals all exit, like the day before? However long that time period is, the birds up and leave. They know it's coming. So we know it's coming. And we honor that and respect that. We don't poo-poo it. Oh, that's just dumb. Are you crazy? Or it's your imagination. No, we know. We may cover it up and hide it because we're just so fed up of ridicule. But we know things can't be hidden anymore. There's too much energy on your planet now to hide these things. You've seen the exposures, the politicians, the agendas, this big clash that's happening right now in all of the countries. You take one cultural group with one, I guess, I don't know how you can even call it a religion, it's an ideology, and you take another with opposing views and values, and you put them together. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? So again, the grand experiment, we're being played with. Do you not see that? How can you not see that? You don't have to fall for it. You don't have to partake of it. You can watch and observe it, how it's going down, and you can run energy on it to clear it up much faster, to heal it, than what you could ever believe. You have so much power within you. You can make mountains heave and roll over. We're changing timelines, people. There's nothing you can do to stop it. And the upheaval is on its way. Do not think for one moment high spirit light beings are powerless. They are powerful. And they're ready to take things into their own hands at this moment in time. Again, first time I've heard that, to say that to us tonight. Like we've said how many times, I wouldn't want to be you when they come looking for you. Because you know who you are and you know what you've done. And you'd better be on the run. That's a little message from the higher beings, from the central sun. We're powerful, emanating sunlight. We're restoring our higher insight. God bless. We give you peace, love, and light. We're speaking to you from our central high light beings of light. And that was their message for us tonight. Okay. They're working overtime to help you with your higher oversight. God bless. We give you peace, love, and light. We are through speaking with you. And there'll be more for tomorrow night. Okay. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what it's like until I'm done talking, right? When I explained this to a client the other day. Because people ask, like, how do you start to have these interconnections working and functioning? And so I try to explain it the best I can. I can only explain my experience. I think everybody has a different experience, but all I can do is say, well, this is what I went through and this is what happened to me. But when I was open to channel, which was not an easy thing physically, it was extraordinarily painful for me. Doesn't mean it will be for you. There were certain things physically that were blocked that had to be opened. And it wasn't easy. Again, doesn't mean that'll happen to you. But I asked when I was starting telepathically to get the information, because at first you don't understand, is this me thinking this, or is this somebody else thinking this, or like you can't tell like who's who and what's what with the energy. It takes a while to discern all of this stuff. So I asked, I used to get, right in the beginning, I would get like full sentences of thought, and it was very rapid. And I finally just said, don't give it to me like that. Give it to me one word at a time, even though it would be slower. Because if I hear a whole sentence, I was concerned I would like make up or create something for the second sentence. And I wouldn't quite believe, or is this really like my thought or your thought, or this was the only way I figured that I would know 100% that it wasn't me thinking this stuff up for myself. So that's why I say to you, after I'm done the channeling, sometimes I go back and I listen to the video or watch the video, because I don't know what was said, or there was stuff in there that I didn't understand. When clients come in and I say, have no expectations, I said, I'll tell you what happens in your session after it's done. So you and I will know at the end what just happened here. And that's the way I like it, so that I don't inject any of my 3D thoughts into the mix. Spirit does get me to offer, as we always hear it, concrete examples from my 3D life experience. to make it easier for the person to understand what the teaching has been. So I always do pull in multidimensional awarenesses, consciousnesses, experiences. Pull it in from everywhere, wherever it's needed to make that revelation clear to the client so that they can help themselves to heal more rapidly than if they didn't have that information. I'm not hearing anything else. I was just, look out the window. You can see out the window now. Isn't that pretty? You can see a bit of the sunset. It's kind of pinky, isn't it? And the sky is looking pretty. I get to walk out there every day. I just love it. Walk all around the harbor. I went back today to look at that ship that's loading everything up. They have that, I don't know, you might actually be able to see it in the corner there. I don't know. They have it lit up at night and they're loading stuff left, right, and center. Like, what are you guys doing over there? And then there are these other two ships that have been sitting there since I can remember. And I just thought nothing of it. And then I thought, maybe I should investigate what they are. Like, are they ferries? Or they're so huge. So I finally figured out where the name was, and it's Majestic Star. And then I found there's a second one kind of hiding in behind it. Looks the same kind of style and color and everything. And they're odd looking things. I've never seen a ship like that before. It's got to be a ferry. So I came home, and as the one captain whom I talked to the other day said, Google this ship and learn more about it, like where it goes and what it picks up and delivers and everything. And I never did bother because I don't really care. But I thought maybe I could do it on these two strange looking ships. They're huge. They almost look like those Princess Cruise ships, but they don't even look like that. They don't look like anything I've ever seen. So I Googled it, and apparently they're old floating casinos from the States. They're here for repairs. I've never seen anybody work on them. They just sit there. I don't know. Why does all this stuff end up in Sarnia? Starting to wonder about this place. If there's more going on than meets the eye, you know? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Oh, well. Maybe one day we'll find out. But at this point, I have other things occupying my thoughts. I love you always. Take care of yourselves and others. Still have our class on Tuesday, June the 9th. If you wish to join, go to the Facebook page, Healing Our Energy. Scroll down to the bottom of the description box, and you'll find the information. If you do wish to book an appointment with us, you can go to the website www.healingourenergy.ca, and you can book an appointment there. All right. I'm going to go finish watching that very interesting movie and see if I can see that ad for a third time. Okay. I'm going to go. Good night, everyone. We'll talk to you, what'd they tell me? Tomorrow night? We'll see what happens. Bye for now.